It was meant to be just another post-speech media Q&A for President Donald Trump. After addressing a hall full of small business owners at a veterans convention in Ohio, he made his way toward the press area, flanked closely by Secret Service agents. Cameras flashed, microphones stretched forward, and the usual barrage of questions filled the air. Among the familiar faces from major news outlets, one reporter stood out. She wasn't shouting. Her presence was calm, composed. Her badge read, Anna Collins, Heartline News. Not a big network, but something about her quiet focus drew attention. Trump, visibly tired from the long day, fielded the routine questions: policy, veterans support, the economy. As expected, the discussion grew tense, political. His tone sharpened. He motioned to wrap things up. That's when she raised her hand. Come/steady. Mr. President, one last question, please. He glanced her way. His staff gestured for him to move on, but something in her voice made him pause. He pointed toward her. Make it quick. Anna stepped forward, but she didn't ask a question. Instead, she leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. Do you remember the name Charlie Emerson? The air shifted instantly. Trump's expression froze, the confidence, the routine demeanor, gone. He blinked once, twice. The noise of the crowd seemed to fade. What did you just say? He asked quietly. Anna didn't reply. She just looked at him, calm, steady, unflinching. For the first time in years, Donald Trump looked shaken. Then came something no one expected. He said, "Clear the room. I want to speak with her alone." Confusion rippled through the reporters. Security hesitated. Trump had never dismissed the press mid-session before, but his voice cut through the uncertainty. I said, "Clear the room." Within moments, the cameras were switched off, reporters escorted out, and silence filled the hall. 2 chairs remained. Trump sat first, eyes fixed on Anna Collins, who still held her now silent microphone. Where did you hear that name? He asked. She met his gaze. Charlie Emerson, she repeated softly. You knew him, didn't you? Trump's jaw tightened. He looked away. I haven't heard that name in over 40 years. I know, Anna said gently. That's why I had to bring it up, because you were about to walk away, and I promised my mother I'd find you before she died. Trump blinked. Your mother. Anna nodded and pulled a folded photograph from her coat pocket. She laid it on the table. Trump picked it up slowly, his fingers trembling. In the photo was a young soldier, Charlie Emerson, smiling, his arm around a woman wearing a nurse's badge. She looked strikingly like Anna. Her name was Evelyn. Anna whispered, my mother, she never stopped talking about Charlie, or about you. Trump's eyes softened. Charlie was my best friend, he said quietly. In Vietnam. He stared at the photograph for a long moment before continuing. We enlisted the same week. Kids, really. Same unit, same bunk, same patrols. It wasn't politics back then. It was survival. Anna listened in silence. The man before her wasn't the one from the podium or the television. His voice was lower now, reflective, human. After every mission, Trump said, we'd flip a coin. The loser had to write a letter to someone's family. Charlie hated it, but he always made me laugh through it. That man saved my life. Twice. Anna's voice broke the silence. My mother said he never came back. Trump nodded. He didn't. There was an ambush. Charlie pulled me behind a rock wall. Took the bullet meant for me. His voice cracked. I held him when he stopped. The room went still. I wrote Evelyn. He whispered finally. Every day, for months, told her everything. I wanted to see her, but I couldn't face her. Anna reached into her bag and pulled out a bundle of aged letters. She kept everyone, she said softly. Trump's eyes filled. Why now? She passed away last week, Anna replied. Before she died, she made me promise one thing. Find Donald. He needs to know the rest. From her bag, Anna slid an envelope across the table. It was old, yellowed with time. On the front, written in neat cursive, Donald J. Trump, only open if you still remember Charlie. She wrote it 20 years ago, Anna explained, but never sent it. Said maybe you wouldn't want to remember. Trump stared at it for a long moment, then broke the seal. His eyes scanned the page slowly. Silence filled the room until, finally, a tear rolled down his cheek. She forgave me, he murmured. Even though I never came. Anna nodded. She loved you. Not like that, but she loved who you were. She said you were the only one who truly saw Charlie. Trump placed the letter down gently. Why did you become a reporter? He asked suddenly. Anna smiled faintly. Because I wanted the truth. I wanted to find the missing pieces of people's stories and give them a voice. Trump's voice dropped to a whisper. I haven't spoken about Charlie since the funeral. Maybe it's time the world knew, Anna said softly. Trump leaned forward, eyes distant. There was this one day in the jungle. Charlie and I were talking about our dreams. I told him I wanted to build towers in New York. He laughed, said he wanted a farm in Montana, with horses, and maybe kids. Anna's eyes glistened. My mom said he used to send her sketches of barns and fences. Trump smiled faintly. He never got the chance. His voice wavered. That day, when he died, I couldn't bring myself to tell Evelyn in person. I wrote, instead, I was a coward. No, Anna said softly. You were grieving. Trump shook his head. I was angry at the war, at fate, at myself. I buried it all. Buried Charlie, too. Anna reached once more into her bag and pulled out a small notebook. He wrote poems, she said. He kept them in this. Trump's eyes widened. Charlie wrote poems? Anna nodded and opened the worn pages. The last line he ever wrote, she whispered. Even the proudest tower must bow to memory. Trump repeated it under his breath. Even the proudest tower must bow to memory. For the first time, he didn't feel like the tower. He stood, pacing slowly, the old photo still in his hand. I made him a promise, he said quietly, that if we made it home, I'd make sure his story was remembered. But I never did. Anna met his gaze. Then maybe now, you can keep that promise. She didn't want to pressure you. Anna began softly. Mom always hoped you'd remember on your own. But time went on, and so did hope. Trump was silent for a moment. Then he asked quietly, you said she wanted me to know the rest. What did Evelyn want to tell me? Anna hesitated, then took a deep breath. She never remarried. She never stopped loving Charlie. But there's something else. From her bag, she pulled out another photograph. This one of a baby boy. His name was Eli. She said gently, Charlie's son. Trump froze, his breath catching. What? Mom was pregnant when he died, Anna explained. She didn't tell anyone, not even you. Trump sank into his chair, the weight of her words pressing down. So, Charlie had a son. Anna nodded. Eli passed away 10 years ago, a car accident. But before he died, he had a daughter. She reached into her wallet and handed him another picture. A little girl with curly hair and a bright, fearless smile. That's my daughter, Anna said. Charlie's great-granddaughter. Her name is Hope. Trump stared at the photo for a long moment, his hand trembling slightly. She looks just like Charlie, he murmured. Those eyes, they're his. Anna smiled through misty eyes. She's 7, loves painting, climbing trees. You'd like her. Trump chuckled softly. Charlie used to climb trees just to steal apples from the base orchard. Always got caught. Anna's smile faded into something more serious. She's the reason I came to you today. Not for politics, not for a story, but because she deserves to know where she comes from. Trump leaned forward. You're saying, I'm the only one left who really knew him. Anna nodded. You are. In Hope's growing up in a world that feels loud, disconnected. I want her to know her roots, not just in war and loss, but in friendship, courage, and loyalty. The things Charlie stood for. Trump's gaze fell to the table. And the things I forgot, he said quietly. Anna hesitated, then asked, would you tell her? Not on camera, not for the public, just talk to her. He didn't pause. Yes, he said, bring her to New York. I want her to see where Charlie's dream helped build mine. Tears welled in Anna's eyes. Thank you. Trump wiped his face with the back of his hand. I owe him that much. For once, it wasn't about politics, fame, or legacy. It was about a promise, one that was finally being kept. 2 weeks later, Anna and Hope arrived in New York City. Trump had arranged a private visit. No cameras, no headlines, just family. When they stepped into the gleaming lobby of Trump Tower, Hope gasped. It's like a castle. Trump met them at the entrance, not in a suit, but in slacks and a blazer. He knelt to her level. You must be Hope, he said with a warm smile. I've been waiting to meet you. She looked up at him with wide, curious eyes. Are you the man from the picture Mommy showed me? The one with the soldier? Trump nodded. That's right. I knew your great-grandpa Charlie. Hope tilted her head. Was he brave? Trump's voice softened. He was the bravest man I ever knew. Hope smiled. I want to be brave too. Trump chuckled. Then you already are. As they rode the elevator up to his office, Trump turned to Anna. You know, he said, this building stands because of a friend who once saved my life. Maybe it's time I return the favor. Anna frowned slightly. What do you mean? He smiled faintly. I have an idea, and I want to build it for Charlie. Over lunch, Trump laid out his vision. A park, he said, a place for veterans and families, with gardens, memorial trees, and in the center, a statue of Charlie Emerson. Not in uniform, not holding a gun, just him smiling, with his sketchbook. Anna's mouth fell open. You're serious? Trump nodded. Every time I pass that statue, I'll remember the man who saved me. And kids like Hope can play in a place built on friendship, not war. Hope perked up. Will there be Trump laughed. Only if you design one. Hope grinned. Then I'll make it really high. Anna's eyes glistened. Thank you, she said. Not just for us, but for keeping a promise most people would have let fade. Trump looked out the window, his voice steady. I've built towers my whole life, he said, but this one matters more. Let's call it Emerson Park. It's time Charlie came home. Weeks later, the project broke ground in Columbus, Ohio, the same town where Charlie had enlisted. Veterans, families, and schoolchildren gathered beneath the summer sun. Trump spoke briefly, his tone personal, not presidential. I once had a friend, he began, who saved me not just from bullets, but from becoming someone I didn't want to be. His name was Charlie Emerson, and this park is for him. Anna stood among the crowd, holding Hope's hand, her eyes brimming. In a world full of noise, Trump continued, Charlie was quiet strength. This land will honor those like him, people who didn't seek fame, but made the world better by being in it. Applause swelled. After the ceremony, Trump leaned down to Hope and whispered, "Next time you come, the treehouse will be waiting." She hugged him tightly. "Thank you for remembering him." Trump smiled gently. "I never really forgot. I just didn't know how to say it until now." As construction continued, Anna began her own project. She collected Charlie's old letters and poems, inviting local children, including Hope, to write messages to veterans. They tucked those messages into the beams of the treehouse, like secret treasures of gratitude. Hope painted a wooden sign herself. "To Papa Charlie, I love you." From Hope, when Trump read some of the children's letters, one caught his eye. "Dear soldier," it said, "thank you for being brave when I'm scared." He folded it carefully. "These," he whispered, "are better than anything I've ever said." Anna smiled. Sometimes the smallest voices say the biggest things. Those letters were sealed inside the walls, promises for the future. Carried by wind and wood. Emerson Park became more than a memorial. It became a story, one of courage, memory, and second chances. Word spread. Veterans from across the country began writing letters. Some had served with Charlie, others simply wanted to say thank you. Trump read them all. One, from a veteran in Georgia, said, "I was ready to give up. Then I saw someone remembered us. I changed my mind." Trump quietly called the man. They spoke for 15 minutes. Before hanging up, Trump told him, "You matter." When Anna found out, she said nothing, just met Trump's eyes with silent gratitude. He simply said, Charlie wouldn't want anyone to feel forgotten. The park's treehouse wasn't just for Hope anymore. It was for everyone who needed to believe they still mattered. And somehow, in keeping a promise, Trump found himself becoming part of something bigger than his own story. At the park's grand opening, an elderly veteran named Harold stepped forward after the ceremony. "I knew Charlie," he said. "I was there the day he died. You," he pointed at Trump, "you carried him back. You risked your life too." Trump shook his head. "He saved me, not the other way around." Harold smiled. "Maybe, but you honored him. After all this time, you did." Then he raised his hand in a salute. Trump saluted back. No fanfare, just a men remembering a friend. The crowd fell silent. Then, softly, Hope began to clap. Others joined in. That day wasn't about Trump. It was about Charlie Emerson. Later that night, Trump stood quietly before the statue, lost in thought. Anna approached. "I almost didn't say his name that day," she confessed. "I was scared you'd brush me off." Trump smiled faintly. "I almost did. Why didn't you?" He paused. "Because when I looked at you, I saw my younger self, the one who hadn't forgotten yet." Anna smiled. One name changed everything. Trump nodded. Sometimes, all it takes is a whisper. They stood beneath a starlit sky in silence. The next morning, Anna returned to the statue with Hope. She carried a framed photo. Eli, Charlie's son, her late brother. She placed it gently beside the statue. "He never knew his father," she whispered. But now, standing there under the new morning light, it felt like, somehow, he finally did.